Yo, what is up, you guys? Vintran here with Syncast Productions, and I switched to Sony. Let's talk about it. So let's get things straight. This is not an I hate Canon video. Now, in fact, I actually still love Canon and still keep up to date with their announcements. However, my needs as a filmmaker have exceeded what Canon can provide to me, hence switching to Sony. But before we jump into that, let's talk about why I love Canon so much. Like most people, we all have that brand that we started with, and for me, that was Canon. And for me, there was no real logic as to why I chose Canon. My dad was an avid Nikon user, and my uncle loved Sony. And even though this is a stupid reason, I followed Devin Supertramp religiously, and he used Canon, so I chose Canon. So that led me to my first camera, the Canon T5i. And now, was it killer in video? By no means. But was it a great price? Oh yeah. So then moving down the timeline, I eventually upgraded to the 7D Mark II and then to the 5D Mark IV, which I kept for a little bit, but then sold in favor of the 1DX Mark II. And just like everybody else, the 1DX Mark II still has a special spot in my heart, because even being able to afford that camera at that time showed me that I could turn this into a career. And so knowing that I can make this a full-time career, I ended up upgrading to the C70 and then the R5C and then back to the C70 and then the R5C with the C70. It's a long, complicated history. All this to say is that I was deep in the Canon ecosystem. And not to mention, right as I was about to switch, I had just really learned how to maximize the Canon colors of C-Log 2. Then there's the fact that I had a red camera that would use EF lenses, but that's not part of this story. But talking about EF lenses, it was really nice that Sigma, Tamron, Laowa all made third-party lenses for the Canon mount. Then Canon moved to the RF mount and then locked that mount specifically for Canon to only make lenses. So then our options for lenses kind of got sparse. And although I did end up investing into RF lenses, I much rather would have gotten a really good Sigma or Tamron lens for that money. So then that brings me to why I chose Sony. For the same, if not better, capabilities of the C70, I got a tiny FX3. And in the Pelican 1535 that I have, I could fit 3 camera bodies from Sony, plus tons of lenses, versus only 2 bodies and a few lenses from Canon. And really, when I was switching to Sony, I had just broken my foot from a construction accident, and so I wanted something that was light and nimble that I could still use while I'm healing from the injury. And let's not forget that the tides have changed with third-party manufacturers. They're coming out with awesome E-mount lenses almost daily, it feels like. So just with the way I love to do filmmaking, I love collaborating with other creators, and so being on the E-mount, I find that I have more people that are also on the E-mount that I can share and borrow lenses from. Then there's also the biggest fact. As much as I loved the Canon C70s, I hated that it was a Super 35 sensor. So then with the cameras I chose from Sony, I finally have that full frame look. And of course, another benefit that everybody knows from Sony is the amazing IBIS that's in these cameras. For example, I was just down in Georgia for a real estate shoot, and I had forgotten my plate to the RS2. And the IBIS came in clutch. And I love that Sony cameras also captured gyroscopic data that I was able to toss in the Catalyst browse and not sweat at all. And then there's the benefit that these Sony cameras are sharper by nature without having the massive file sizes of downsampling footage. So with that said, let's go switch to Sony. So today is a big monumental day. Oh God, it is bright AF today. Oh, look at that exhaust purr. All right, what's up YouTube? Today is a monumental day. Today is the day I switched to Sony. Actually, funny enough, I'm shooting this on a Sony. You guys are seeing me on the A7S III right now with the G Master 14mm. I've been trying this setup out, not really for vlogging, just like this instance, but really for wedding videography. About a month ago, I had the opportunity to pick up this exact camera, the A7S III, at a killer deal, and decided to take up my friend on the offer. And after being able to take this camera on a bunch of weddings and an event, I love the Sony Lowlight. It's as plain and simple as that. So what am I exactly selling? Well, I'm selling my 2 C70s, my R5C, a RF 24 to 70, 15 to 35, 85, and 270 to 200s. It's happening. It truly is. Okay, let me get everything out.
I subbed to your channel, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You want to say hi to BTS? These guys really treat you well. Cardinal Camera, Charlotte location, not the Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not the Pennsylvania.
Not Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Don't know. I can't speak about them. I'm sure they're great people. They had to give me a whole box. How did it feel to see me switch over? Do you feel accomplished? Is your life mission just switch people over?
I set out with a goal that I didn't even know I had, and
And yet it's still fulfilling.
And this is my love letter to Sony. Sponsor me.
Sponsor. Let me become an ambassador. All I'm saying is invite me to Sony camera camp. All right, man. Thank you. How does it feel to be Team Canon? So my mindset going into this switch was that everything I loved about my Canon kit, I just wanted in a Sony version. So I ended up snagging 2 Sony FX3s, a Sony a7S III, the Sony G Master 50mm f1.4, the Sony G Master 85mm f1.4, the Sony G Master 14mm f1.8, the Sigma Art 24-70 f2.8, and then lastly 2 Sony G 70-200s f4. And some may say why I went with the f4 versus the 2.8 for the 70-200s. Well, I really wanted the compact size and to be able to fit 2 of them in a Pelican case. And these lenses are really just for wedding ceremonies, and so I just bump up my ISO to 12,800 and go about the rest of my day. And so that's the kit I've been rocking for the past few months. And I'm sure down the road I'll probably do another video to update if I like or dislike the system. And as of right now, loving it. And that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more content like this, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and check out some of our other videos. I really want to share my knowledge as a veteran filmmaker to you guys beginners. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.